Welcome to the Cross the Line Podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and today we have another special guest with us. He is the host of Nite Cast Media and Sirius XM radio host. We out here on the West Coast with him. We just finished wrapping up a game, the LA Sparks and the Chicago Sky. I'm about to say it backwards. But I got a very special guest. This brother showed me a lot of love last year when I met him out in Vegas, man. So I always appreciate him. He came through in the clutch for me when I had a situation when I had last year at a certain event that I went to, and I reached out to him and he gave me some advice about what I should do moving forward. So I greatly appreciate it. Mr. Nick Hamilton, how you doing?
Man, good, great, blessed, highly favored, brother. What's cracking?
Yes, sir, man. Like I said, I appreciate you taking time to chop up and have a conversation. Like I hit you up when I was getting ready to come out here.
Yeah, man.
And I said, man,
I appreciate it.
Nick, I need to get you on for an episode, man, so you can share your journey, talk about sports and media, man, and the way everything is going. And like I said, I appreciate you last year. We were out in Vegas for the Aces home opener. Mm-hmm. And that was the very first WNBA game I ever covered.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Very first one I ever covered.
That's what's up.
And so just doing the whole thing. And then like I was like, I didn't know where to go as far as like going to the media rooms and all this stuff. And you just showed me all the ropes, man. So I appreciate you taking the time to show me love, man. And since then, we've been cool. And I try to reach out, stay in touch through social media or whatever. So I greatly appreciate you for all that, man.
Nah, man, thank you. I mean, somebody did the same thing to me, man. Like, I mean, we all started out, as we say, wet behind the ears. You know what I mean? Somebody to take my hand and guide me. So it only, it's only right to pass that along, as we say, pay it forward, and so when you get an opportunity, I'm sure you see somebody, if you haven't already, and do the same thing. So I think if we keep doing that, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, and like I said, in the media space, man, you don't always find a lot of like genuine people that's gonna show you love, man, because it's like a lot of times people look for like clickbait or look for that soundbite, something that's gonna help them get ahead. So it's like, when you find people that's genuine enough to like show you love and like, hey, do this, or just give you any type of advice, man, you should always be grateful for that stuff. Which I am, man, because being in South Carolina, we're in a smaller market, a much smaller market, so we don't have a lot of access to a lot of different professional teams and all that stuff. So man, like I said, when I was out in Vegas and you just showed me love and you just put me on game, and I had that situation that happened last year, and you was just breaking it down for me, man. Like I said, I greatly appreciate it because you ain't even have to do that.
Oh, man, how I look at it is like this, man. Like, I'm a mirror. So however you come at me is how I'm going to come at you, right? And how I'm going to treat you is how you treat me. So I think it was just reciprocated as far as how we interacted. And like I said, you said South Carolina, that's Beamer country. That's Don Staley country. You know what I mean? So, which is funny, we cover South Carolina football. So it's funny that, we do that. It's one of the teams that we cover in college football. But it's just funny when you said South Carolina. It was like, wow, okay, you're like the third person I know from South Carolina. So, it was just a genuineness, bro, across the board, I think. I think it was just something that we just connected. And, we both had a mutual interest, which was doing, being reporters, being hosts, being, into that space. So it's all good, man. I hope to see you back out there, man. You've been out there more than me as of the last 6 months, man. So yeah, man, you got your freaking flyer miles up.
I went to Vegas a couple of times, man. Had a good time, man. And just, do some one-on-one interviews. Like I said, I had Asia for a one-on-one. I did.
It's dope, by the way.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, yes. Just to, be able to talk to her. She was so humble, man. And what I love about her was she's the best player in the WNBA. Mm-hmm. And no matter how great she is, she doesn't make herself feel like she's above anybody else on the team. She treats everybody with respect. She's so humble and down to earth, and she's just grateful for everything that she has. And just for her to take that time out to interview, have a conversation with me, I greatly appreciate that. But that's what I love about her the most, of just how humble and great of a person she is.
She's good people, man. I mean, if you get a chance to even be around the team, be around her to some degree. I call her, I said she's the face that runs the place. That's what she is when it comes to the W. She is my basketball tribal chief. For all my wrestling fans out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But she's great at what she does, and she's only going to get greater. Like that's the scary part about this, for lack of a better term. Like, she's only going to get greater. And what she's been able to do on the floor, off the floor, her shoes sold out in less than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were out here scrambling. I know I was calling like, hey, you got a size, such. Nah, man, we don't have. I'm going on these other little third party sites and they just want to charge me like 3 times the amount. Yeah. Nah, I can't afford that, Asia. I love you like a play cousin, but I can't, put my mortgage money out there like that. But I was happy, I got a pair. I ended up getting another pair, but I was happy to see that type of elevation, not just for her, but for just women's athletics as a whole, right? Because you look at her, obviously Sabrina Ionescu has a dope shoe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that Asia sold out in 5 minutes, we ain't seen that since probably the old Jordan days, right? Maybe the first Kobe's, or maybe the first couple of LeBrons, but we haven't seen something like that since the Jordan days, man. So for her to accomplish that, bro, I was so happy for her. And the way Nike really set that up, they really did her justice, I think.
And I think it just goes to show you what people we do support women's sports.
Absolutely.
Support. I think they're just a negative stereotype, and I think we pay too much attention to the negative side instead of just support, because even when you go to the games, you see how much love these women get just in these arenas. Like, it's so much love, but I think we focus too much on social media and looking at what the negative stuff that people saying. We don't focus on like what's in front of us and like everything inside of the arena. But it's a lot of love for these women, man, when they come out to these games.
They play hard, man. Each and every night they lay it out on the line, man. They play hard, man. They are skillful. It's basketball, man. It's real deal basketball. Yeah. They go at it, man.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get more into the sports side a little bit later on, but let's just talk about a little bit about your journey as well. So for people watching this, when I say Nick Hamilton, like, how would you describe yourself?
Resilient. I try to be as consistent as I can. 16 years in the business. Versatile. Growing. I feel like I've elevated from year one to where I am now. I mean, there's a few things I wish I could kind of, jump back in the time portal, so to speak, and try to say, okay, let me change this a little bit, or let me change that a little bit. But other than that, man, it's a journey, man. It's things that I've learned. It's vocab that I've learned. It's mindset that I've learned over to elevate my mindset. That's why I don't say, for example, I don't say the word grind anymore. I say build, because when you grind, what do? You grind something into oblivion, and it evaporates, right? So, I'm on the grind. Yeah, but you grind it into what? So when you say you build, that's what? Elevation, right? And so that's the things, there's small things like that I've been able to accumulate over the course of time, and to be able to disseminate that type of information to people that I know, to be that are receptive to it. And then just try to give some of the experiences that I had to the younger, people that, first, second, third year that are doing this, that really want to do it. And try to share my experiences, not that I know everything or come off like, oh, you doing that wrong. Like, no, this is what I experienced. So I'm going to tell you, if you soak it up, great. If you don't, it's on you. I dust my feet off and keep it moving.
Absolutely. So were you born and raised out here in L.A.?
Born and raised in L.A., West Coast to the casket drop. L.A. is an interesting place because, L.A. is one of those. See, we live. I know Kendrick says now, if you ain't been south of the 10, you can't really say you in L.A. But I grew up south of the 10. I grew up east and west of the 110. For all my L.A. folks that know what that represents. And so, growing up in Carson, California, ended up moving to L.A. Inglewood area. Then there was a time where I was back and forth between L.A. and Long Beach. Most of my family's from the east side of Long Beach, in parts of South Central LA. So just having those roots, from political roots to, the street roots to just the average everyday 9 to 5 roots, I feel like it's really shaped me and helped shape me into the person that I am right now, and hopefully what I strive to be later on.
So what was life like growing up? Were you involved in any type of sports? Because you're in media now, but what were you?
Yeah, man, it was funny because I got into like playing hockey, right? So like I remember going to this how it shows you how going to different environments when you're young, you get exposed to different things. Because growing up in certain neighborhoods, you're gonna get exposed to that. It's either football, basketball, and that's it, or you go you go to the street side, which is gangbanging and stuff like that. But, I started playing field hockey and then, kind of did some hockey on the ice for a couple years when I was younger. Didn't really stick with it, but I wish I did because, it was cool to experience that. And to be able to, do something different. Like, I've always been a dude that does something different. Like, my mom used to say, I march to the beat of my own drum. And I didn't really understand that when I was younger. But now that I got older, I kind of understand it now because I don't do stuff that's conventional. I do stuff that's try to be out the box, but not reinvent the wheel. Even when I do in my media career now, I do stuff that's different. Like 75% of my media career has been independent or working with independents. I've only been with majors maybe 25, maybe 30% of my career.
Okay.
Which was a great experience too. But then learning, ownership and the key to ownership and what that represents and what that entails, man, and being able to really try to control what you can control within your own means and still be successful.
Absolutely. Going back to the sports side, you say you play field hockey. Out here, like, what's like the ultimate sport out here, I guess? Because, like, in the South, football is king. If you go like up north to like New York or something, like it's basketball is like everything to them. So like out here on the West Coast, like what's that sport? It's like the king out here.
It's basketball and football. Like you playing basketball, you playing football. It was a few brothers that was playing baseball back in the day when it was kind of when it was a lot of brothers actually playing baseball. When you think about the late 70s, the 80s, even part of the 90s up until the strike, with Major League Baseball, we saw commercials. I mean, you saw the Deion Sanders commercials. You saw the Ken Griffey Jr. commercials. I mean, Ken Griffey made this look so cool. Hell, if you couldn't swing a bat, you wanted to go out there and swing one just because it was Griffey doing it. You wanted to emulate Griffey. So I think we had Bo Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like we had the Bo Jacksons of the world where he two-sport athlete, but he was excelling in baseball before his injury, unfortunately, and even in football. Same thing with Deion Sanders. So it was just like it was cool to play baseball for a moment, But I think ultimately, it was more basketball and football out here, for what I recall. A lot of cats I know that was doing that.
Yeah, like I said, football for us, it's everything in the South.
Oh yeah, in the South. I'm about to say, man, that's in the South, bro. That's what it is, man.
Football season come, it's like every other sport just get lost in the mix. Like it's like where I'm from, South Carolina, in the upstate of South Carolina, they're more so like college football. Now, don't get me wrong, football is everything, but college football, like the Clemson in South Carolina, that's everything in the upstate of where we are. But then just ultimately, though, overall, though, like the NFL football, man, everywhere you go, it's going to be Cowboy fans. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Cowboy fans and Steelers fans. But yeah, football out there, man, when football season hit, basketball, whatever sport going on, like you don't hear about it. Like it's almost like basketball really don't start until after the Super Bowl, really. That's how it is for us. Okay. Because football is just everything. People just go, they talk about you, wear your jerseys at work. Yeah. You come back that Monday morning, if your team won, you talking junk to everybody else. Like football is just everything where we are, man. So that's why I wanted to know that. Did you play? I know you say you play field hockey. What was there anything that you wanted to be like growing up? Like was it something that you had like, pro aspirations? Anything?
Nah, actually I didn't, which was funny. I mean, I liked playing. I used to read the newspaper when there was a newspaper around. Not to date myself too much, but I used to read like articles and I remember for a class project we had to like create like a business, so to speak. So I created a newspaper, and it was called RBI, which was a rugged baseball issue at the time. That's what I called it. And I just wrote about baseball, right? About baseball, and it was just like, because again, we saw these fat Darryl Strawberry and all these guys that were, as I got older, understood what they were and who they were,
right?
And like I said, Deion, Griffey, Barry Bonds, just people like that. So, just reading about it, being in the barber, how the barbershop get, man. Somebody gonna always think they are right.
Everything.
In the words of my man Chris Tucker, this is right. It don't get no righter. You know what I mean? But they always think that they were right. And then you got 50, 11 dudes. Hell no, man. Nah, you don't know what you're talking about. Last week, and it's just so I'm sitting back watching, and I'm like, see, before there was First Take, it was the barbershop, right? It's the barbershop, and that's to me where I really felt like I honed my skills, right, and like really understood how to really hold your own. And then also too, I used to like to write. Like I wrote poetry, I wrote short stories, so I used to like to write and be able to create these things, and I was always a creative, and that's something I thought I was going to be. Cause everybody thought I was going to be an engineer, just because I would like draw certain stuff. But my whole thing was just like, I want to create. I want to be able to build these stories. I want to be able to tell stories. That's all I wanted to do. And it just so happened I love sports and I love entertainment, so I didn't fall into that till like way later in life. I was a late bloomer, so. Yeah, man. I sat on the sidewalk like a patch of grass. You know what I mean, and just tried to figure things out.
Right. Who would you say was like? Did you have like a mentor growing up that kind of like steer you to a certain career path?
I didn't really necessarily have a mentor, but I was involved. Like like I said, I was involved in like I always like wanted to own. Like I said, understanding the power of ownership and being able to own my own business. So. I remember there was this bridge program when I graduated high school over at USC, and it was like a financial, before it was popular about financial literacy, this was kind of like a financial literacy course. And it taught you how to be an entrepreneur. It taught you about stocks. It taught you about the stock market. It taught you about investments and the importance of investments. And I never will forget, out here in downtown LA, there's a lot of tall buildings, right? But there's one of the many tall buildings called Ernst & Young building. And I'll never forget, this was my first time ever in one of these type of buildings where they had like a boardroom. We see that stuff on TV, but you don't get a chance to just, let me walk up in this building. Let me go to the 15th floor and let me go hang out in the boardroom. Like, nah, security ain't let you doing that. So we went in as a class and sat at an actual boardroom. Like, it looked like it did on TV. And like, we were looking out the window. I could see the whole city out the window. We must have been on like 15th, 20th floor. And it changed my mind, and it was like, wow, dude, I really want to be up here one day. Like, I want to sit in there with the cigar, posted with sitting back at my desk, like, hold my calls till tomorrow afternoon, thanks, and just have that experience and be able to dream and to wonder and to envision what that could look like. And I didn't really know exactly what it would look like until, like I said, way later on, but I think it shaped me. And having that mindset, like, yo, man, you can't just rely on somebody else. Like, you can't rely on another person to feed you. Like, after, you rely on your parents for so many years, and then after that, you got to start building for yourself. And that's one of the many lessons that I learned, and that it propelled me to where I am right now.
So when was that moment for you that you decided, okay, like maybe you were working like a traditional 9 to 5, doing different odd jobs that you knew weren't for you. Then you finally say, you know what, let me try my hand at the media, get into the media.
It was funny that you say that because, which I'm gonna put this in my book, but whenever that happens, when people act like they give a damn. But I was modeling. I was signed with LA Models. Okay. I was signed for a few years, and I was doing it for several years, and it reached the ceiling because it was just different directions I wasn't going in. I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, I'm saving for the book, but so I had to figure out like, how am I gonna pivot? Like, what am I gonna do? I mean, I'm tired of working these odd jobs that ain't really going nowhere. And I've always been a person that works. Like, I ain't never been scared of hard work. I've never being fearful of it, like, oh my God, I shovel shit for a living if that's what paid the bills. Right. I'm not gonna turn my nose down at certain things if that's what I need to do to survive and make a living. But I decided, okay, you know what, I need to go do this. So I went back to school. I got an internship at ESPN LA. I went back to school. I worked on that internship for like a year. So it was 1 year, man. All I was doing was interning for 21 hours a week. I was going to school. I worked part-time, and then I was out in the field when I was a blogger when blogging was like the antichrist of journalism. Right now, it's like, oh, you're a blogger? Oh, what's your blog? How many do you get per month? Now it's like, oh, it's the holy grail of journalism, right? Or reporting or whatever, media influencer or whatever. Back then, it was the antichrist. They looked at you like you were less than, like somebody called you everything but a child of God. And, you know, it was like, wow. And I took my bumps and bruises. Like, I sucked. Like, I'm not going to lie. I sucked at it. And I had to learn how to write sports stories, entertainment stories. And I think going back to school kind of helped me with that. But then also understanding the power of networking too. So that's why my internship came in, and I was cutting sound. I was answering the phone. So when people called the sports radio stations, I was that dude that answered the phones and decided if you were gonna get on the air or not, because we had a certain criteria that we had to follow.
Right.
And I mean, me and this other dude named Charles, man, we busted our asses, man, that whole semester, and you know, took a liking to us. And then that's when I ended up meeting Max Kellerman and Marcellus Wiley, and you know, a few other people that I still have relationships with.
Was this when Sports Nation was still going on?
No, this is when Max and Marcellus had their radio show.
Okay.
And then Max and Marcellus, I believe, took over Sports Nation at that time. I'm not sure, but I think that's when they did. And I've just built a lot of relationships, like I said, that I still have to this day. Like one of my mentors, she's a program, you know, she's a PD over in Denver now. I mean, she was at ESPN for many years. Shout out to Amanda Brown. You know, that, you know, looked out for me. You know, once she saw my work ethic, she began to take a vested interest in me, and you know, looked out and showed me the ropes, so to speak, along with some other people. You know, Dave Singer, who's now at the NFL Network. Like I said, I still talk to Marcellus to this day.
That's dope.
You know,
Marcellus doing his own thing.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, and he's doing it well too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think just building those relationships, and then, like I said, there was a gentleman, you know, by the name of Eric Wade, who God rest his soul, who took me under his wing. He had been a sports photographer for like, I think 10 years and change, and took me under his wing and gave me the real. Hey man, I'm not gonna promise you the world, but what I do have, I'll, you know, open the door for you. And he did that, and we developed not just a mentorship, but a friendship at the time. And he showed me a lot. And he believed in me, you know, and it means something when you have somebody to believe in you. I don't care who it is, outside of your own direct family, because you always feel like, yeah, fam, that's family. And my mama gonna always love, you know, my daddy gonna do this, or my sister, or my brother, or whoever. You always in the back of your mind gonna be like, yeah, well, they gotta say this because they my family, right? But when you got somebody on the outside that's not connected to you through blood, and they really believe in you, and they really telling you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. That speaks volumes, bro. That speaks volumes. Man, let me tell you, bruh, I took my bumps and bruises out here and still taking them, you know, but I wouldn't, like I said earlier, a couple things I would change or do better on. But overall, it's like, man, it's what it is. I wouldn't be here, you know, without it.
Just like you were saying, man, just having those people out, just outside of your family that like believe in you and pour into you. I tell people all the time, man, in just basically all my interviews, the guy that changed everything for me was Ben Hall. He was is a great friend. I call him a mentor, brother, man. He changed my life because he was a guy. He was the number one tight end coming out of high school. He was the number one tight end in the nation coming out of Burns. And he went and played at Clemson and then played a little bit of professional ball. Came back home, worked a 9 to 5, and he quit his 9 to 5 and went home and started baking out of his home. And I shot an interview with him, man, and he was just like, you know, I had set up the interview. I had a phone call with him, and he was like, hey, man, so like, and you know, when you're growing up, people always ask you like, what do you want to do when you grow up? But I think it was just the way he worded and how he was speaking to me. He was like, man, so like, what are your goals? Like, what is your purpose? And I was like, man, people ain't never really asked me that. He's like, nah, I just want to pick your brain to see where you're going. And when I went and sat down with him and did the interview with him, man, and he was just like, man, you remind me of like a a young Napoleon Hill, and at the time I didn't know who Napoleon Hill was.
Right. Like, who the hell is that?
Exactly. And he was just like, man, because I was going around just interviewing entrepreneurs in our area, just having them share their stories about like building a business and entrepreneurship, and then if they were interested in sports, we would talk about sports on the backside of the interview. But that's what sparked my mind about, starting a business and getting into entrepreneurship. And he's like, man, you remind me of a young Napoleon Hill, and you interviewing all these great people, and you collecting all this data, and everything that he started saying in the interview, like I still listen to it to this day, and it's called One Man, One Stove. And I call it that because he was one man, one stove, baking out of his home. Before he ever even had a storefront, he was just baking out of his home, baking cakes, and now he has a full-blown storefront where he bakes cakes. He have them set up in different stores where you can go in and buy those cakes and everything as well. But he was the guy that poured into me and just changed my mind. And I had never been on a plane before. The first time I ever got on a plane, he was like, man, when you get up there, I want you to look down. He said, I want you to think about all your problems. And when you get up there and look down and you see all these small buildings, he said, I want you to think about all your problems. He said, the things that we make so big of a deal out of, think about it from that perspective. Like the stuff that we really stress about is really not that big of a deal. And when you think about it from that view, like how you look at these big buildings and when you're up in the air, they look so small. And man, the way he just poured into me, man, it just told me about just like dreaming big and just thinking big. Like you only gonna achieve to the level that you believe, man. And I'll never forget, he said something that stuck to me. He was like, you know what, going after your dreams, man, you can't be normal and great at the same time. He's like, because it's gonna take a lot of sacrifice to get to where you want to go, but just believe in yourself and just think big. And that guy right there, man, it's amazing how just some people can see things in you that you don't even see in yourself. Yeah. And this interview was probably about 7 years ago. And from that point, man, it just, to see where I'm at now, from back then, like I wasn't even, covering sports like that back then until like I did it as an intern in college, but like on my own, under my own brand. To see where I am now, and just like I said, just being out here in Staples Center, man, covering games, I owe a lot to that guy, man, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'm achieving things to the level that I am today.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it speaks volumes to your ingenuity because you still got to go and do the work. Like, no matter what they planted in you, you still got to produce the harvest, right? Yep. And so I've learned that too, like what you're saying as far as sometimes people can see things in you, and it's a beautiful thing because it can blossom into something. I've also seen the other side where people do see things in you and they try to quench it and destroy it because they don't have that in them. And that's the thing I had to learn and understand, was that there are people out here that will build you up, and then there's some people out there that will try to tear you down every chance they get. And like I said in one of my posts a while ago, everybody clapping for you, everybody that's clapping ain't clapping for you. Everybody that's marching with you ain't marching for you.
That's true.
And that's the thing I had to learn. And it was a harsh reality because sometimes I got a little too close for comfort. Sometimes it was people who I thought were my friends that really weren't. We were just cool. We just happened to be meeting on a medium plane where it was like, okay, we had a couple things in common. We cool, so this is where we going to meet. But that doesn't necessarily make them your friend. So I got friends that I've been with 30 plus years. I got another friend that I've been with 20 plus years that's known me. I know them. It's godfather of my son. I'm the godfather of his kids. And we just meshed. You know what I mean? And we, we helped each other out through some difficult times. Same thing with the guys that I've been knowing 30, 35 years. So a lot of these people out here, I'm cool with you. And we can be friendly, doesn't make you my friend. Right. We cool. We not enemies. This ain't no 50 Cent Ja Rule type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't. Right. I mean, it used to be a couple cats. I was like, man. But, and it's also, too, like I said earlier, about growth, man, and learning how to let stuff go and being able to not hold on. Because I used to hold a grudge like a mug. Bruh, I would hold on a grudge like, Barry Sanders would hold on to a football. I mean, if I seen you, fuck you. It was like that. You know what I mean? It was to that degree. And all that I realized when I went through a very dark place in my life, I was only harming myself. You know, when you hit rock bottom, all you can do is look up. It's like that one episode. I don't know if you saw the movie with Batman with Bane, and how Bane broke Batman's back and threw him down this cliff. You know, threw him down this hole. And it took him a year to finally climb out and he would fall, climb back, fall. And there was a point he gave up. And they was like, no, you are our only hope. You know, guys that was in the prison, they was like, you are our only hope. And he finally made it. He crawled out and was like, all right, damn, it ain't so bad. Like you said earlier, it ain't so bad when I'm looking down where I was to where I am now. You know, it ain't so bad. You know, I made it through. And it's a testament to, you know, your mentors, a testament to people that, you know, sold into me that didn't have to. You know, I take it like a compliment, man. Like, everybody ain't got to compliment me. So when they do, I appreciate it. I don't take it lightly. I take it as, you know, because they don't have to say nothing at all. Hey, man, Carlos, that's a nice shirt. They ain't got to say that. They choose to say that. Right. So I don't take it to my head like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm afraid. Nah, okay. I mean, I'm going to look good for myself. Right. You know, I ain't gonna be out here talking about, oh, I don't know if I look, man, the hell with you. Right. I know I look good rocking whatever I'm rocking. But you don't let it go so far as it clouds your judgment and impedes your progress. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think it's just balance, bro. That's the one thing I'm learning is just balance. You know, I'm controversial. I'll speak what I need to speak. And I don't give a damn. When I do, you be the first to know. But I like to have fun too. So a lot of times you see me like smiling more. Like this probably the last 2 years I smile more like I won a damn lottery. God willing. But you know, just enjoying life and knowing what life represents, and it's bigger than what we doing, man. Like life is more to what we doing.
Right, absolutely.
You know, being able to expand, bro. That's the thing.
Well, I want to ask you, going back to something you say, like with your internship with ESPN, with that opportunity, did you look at ESPN as like the ultimate goal for you? Because for me, my senior year at Upstate, at USC Upstate, I was working with one of my mentors, Coach Cox, and we were he had his own local media business, but we would go up to like cover the Charlotte Hornets. And high school football, he took me to different sporting events. So when I was covering those games and covering the teams, I was like, man, this is cool. I was like, man, when I get my degree, I'm going to go right to ESPN and get me a job with those guys. And it didn't work that way. So I had to kind of create my own opportunity, which was a blessing in disguise for me because it was still so much other stuff that I had to learn along the way. But did you look at ESPN at that time? It's like when you were interning, like the ultimate goal for you was like, man, I'm going to finish as an intern and get a job at ESPN and this was going to be it?
No, it wasn't the ultimate goal, but it was a great opportunity, and that's what I saw it as. I saw it as an opportunity, and I saw, you know, I ended up getting a job over there in the promotions and marketing department after I finished, which was good too because I got a chance to see a different side of the business, you know, and I think that's when I understood that you don't go after ESPN goes after you, right? And even talking to, you know, people that have been with ESPN, people like, you know, I'm very fortunate to have and to continue to generate a relationship with somebody like a Jamel Hill, meeting Michael Smith. I used to love watching his and hers. Like, man, that was too, my show, bro. Me too. I tell them that. I know they probably get tired of me saying this when I see them. I'm like, look, his and hers was like, it was it.
They
was
represented the culture, man.
Man, it was like watching Rap City. Yeah. It was like watching like,
I love it, man.
You know, it was like watching, you know, TRL. It was like watching 106 in Park. Like, it was all of these shows that you knew you could sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna get something out of this. I'm not gonna feel like I wasted my time, whether it was listening to them or watching them. They just had the greatest chemistry, and they just had the best flow, and it just seemed so natural and organic, yeah. And so, you know, being able to meet these people, and even early on, like real super early in my career, like Bomani Jones used to like reach out to me. You know, he'll DM me from time to time, hey man, wear this, or hey man, do this. You know, and I still credit him to this day, even though, you know, we may not talk like that, you know, because he's gone on to greater things and doing his own thing, and but I just appreciate all of those moments, man, and just but being at ESPN LA, like I said, man, just taught me a lot, and it taught me it really sharpened my work ethic, and it really taught me a lot about just the business and people. And you know, you gonna run into some great people, and you gonna run into some real assholes, and that's just how it goes. I mean, even to this day, you know, and people that power trip and abuse their power, you know. So it's just, to me, no, it wasn't the ultimate goal, but it was an opportunity that I knew I had to take. And I wanted to take, but I knew I had to take that opportunity because it wasn't going to come back around.
Right. So then after that internship, was that the point in time where you finally went independent and started kind of like doing your own thing?
Nope. What did I do? So I was like, hey, man, I need some money, right? Because I don't like not having no money in my pocket. I don't want to have no lint in my pocket. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I don't like having air. I don't like having an air wallet, as my great uncle used to say. You don't want no air wallet. I mean, there ain't nothing in your wallet, but your wallet and that little paper it come with, right? You want some money up in there. You want to feel like, you know, you feel like somebody. You know, you feel like you accomplishing something. And I think when it comes to that, I was working 2 jobs.
Okay.
And then I think I got a call from this independent outlet that said, hey, we're looking for somebody in LA, you know, that can cover X, Y, and Z. And I said, oh, okay, well, I already kind of do that. So I got the end. I don't need y'all to get me in. I already got the end. So I think that kind of solidified it too, where they didn't have to like work super hard to like get me in and establish a relationship, because I already established that relationship.
Right.
So that's how I started. And then like my first, ironically, which is so funny, my first professional team that I covered was the LA Sparks.
Wow.
In the WNBA.
Okay.
That was my first professional team. I covered them mid-09, like the second half of 09. And that's the year Candace Parker wasn't there because she was pregnant with her daughter at the time. And so she set that whole year out. So I didn't get a chance to even meet Candace Parker until like 2010, that season then. And I was just like, oh my God, this is freaking Candace Parker. Yeah. Like, this is a legend, right? Like, this is the woman that got a MVP and a Rookie of the Year trophy like in the same year, and played with Lisa Leslie, Lisa Legend. You know what I mean? And how big Lisa was. You know, just going. I used to go to Sparks games a couple times. You know, seeing how big Lisa Leslie was. You know, as far as just this, you know, big time figure that helped carry women's basketball. Yeah, she's a legend. She's from the city. You know, so. It was major. That's why I always have a place, you know, to some degree with the Sparks and with the WNBA, because that's where I started. You know, that's where I cut my teeth, so to speak. Outside of cutting my teeth in radio, I cut my teeth professionally, you know, with the W.
Man, that was dope. I tell you this, I remember it was about a year and a half ago now, we actually met. We were at the Ice House Comedy Club. And we actually met the lady who made the first basket in WNBA history, Miss Penny Toller.
Yep. She used to be the GM. Penny was the GM.
Yep. So we had her out there. We didn't even know who she was at the time. Then my friend Bilal, he's a comedian. Shout out to Bilal. He was like, yeah, you know, Penny Toller, she was the GM for the Sparks, and then she made the first basket in WNBA history. I was like, man, I didn't even know that. So when we went back out there and we talked to her again, we actually got it on footage. It's gonna be in the documentary.
Okay.
She made the first basket and everything. Man, she was so cool, and she was like, whatever y'all need out here, because I think she oversees the Ice House Comedy Club now.
Okay. But,
she was like, whatever y'all need, just let us know. Whatever, we got you.
I was cool with Penny. Yeah, I was cool with Penny, man. So I mean, she was a GM, and man, Penny was like, direct, like straight chaser, straight shooter, no chaser, right? Just boom. And that's what she was. You know what I'm saying? And that's how she ran the organization. That's how she, you know. But you know, she made a mark. I think she. You know, just being a woman GM in the second largest market, you know, and at the time, you know, I think it was up until 2006 when the Lakers had owned that team as well before they sold it. And, you know, hey, man, 2 championships. You know, got a 3rd championship in 2016 as, you know, when Candace and Nneka and Chelsea was a part of that squad against the Minnesota Lynx. And that was a great rivalry. Oh, my God, from 15 to 17, man, that was a rivalry.
Maya Moore was in Minnesota.
With Lindsay Whalen, Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, Mama Ty, shout out to her. You know, I mean, that was a squad, bro. Like, these were like the Clash of the Titans, you know, and it was beautiful to see, man. It was beautiful to see. And this before the W really like where it is now.
Yeah.
You know, and man, it was great, man. And I'm let me say this: I'm loving the fact that the Sparks finally are going to retire Candace Parker's jersey.
Well deserved.
This June. You know what I mean? And be able to do that because I think it's past due. The other thing is we need to get Lisa Leslie a statue out in front of Staples Center because I'd be damned if I'm gonna let LeBron. Y'all want LeBron James to have a statue over Lisa Leslie?
That's what's got to stop.
What the hell?
That's got to stop.
I don't understand. They not from LA,
they don't
bro.
even sound right.
They not from LA.
Come on, man.
They really not from LA because you cannot. Look. I'll take another Kobe statue, which I know they're gonna end up doing, which is well deserved. Shaq, well deserved. Wayne Gretzky, understood.
Hey, man.
How the hell do you not have Lisa Leslie as a statue outside of Staples Center? What that woman not only gave to the Sparks, but what she gave to the game. Exactly. And what she continues to give to the game. Yeah. Look what she's winning as a coach in the Big Three. Look what she's doing. It's a travesty when I watched that podcast with Angel Reese when she said she went up for 2 jobs and they turned her down.
Give her a job. Yeah, that's what's crazy.
I'm like, okay, so you got Carl Lawson out there who's coaching the Duke women's team. She needs to be in the league. You got Lisa Leslie. I don't understand how Lisa Leslie's not a coach.
Teresa Weatherspoon should still be coaching.
Teresa Weatherspoon should still be coaching. Even as an assistant. I would even understand and say, okay, you got to come on a squad, be an assistant. Yeah, cool. Because guess what? In a year or so, there's gonna be a head coaching job to pop back up. Cool. The fact that there's only one black woman head coach in the entire WNBA, and the WNBA is 80% black, and Noelle Quinn is the only one to stand the test of time, and still coaching the LA Zone. Noelle Quinn. Yeah, we claim her. And she's up there in Seattle getting busy.
I would love to meet her in person, man. Because every time I see her, she just look like she's just so calm and
she cool, man. She's focused, man. She's determined, man, and I love that. Yeah, and she knows the game, bro. She knows the game, and you know, not to get off on the tangent, but I just think it's just. You know, like I said, to cover the Sparks those years, to expand into the other teams in the W, and be able to have the opportunities that we have now, and hopefully continue to have and move forward. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, evolving from the W to covering the MLS. I was there, covered MLS for many years, the LA Galaxy, and when Beckham was there, when it was the big phenom, and Beckham was there. And Robbie Keane and Landon Donovan, and they won all those MLS Cups, and covering baseball, with the Angels, and covering hockey, with the LA Kings, and growing into football and basketball. I mean, just constantly growing into entertainment. I mean, just constantly elevating. And oftentimes we don't realize how much we do because we're so engulfed. Those of us, like you said, between normal and great, you don't get time to play it back and be like, I'm gonna smoke this cigar and have this drink and just sit back on the balcony and just reminisce. You don't have that kind of time. You like, we gotta be in the go. We gotta be in the moment. So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing.
I'm gonna ask you this: being in the media space, how important is it, or is it important at all, to be in the right type of environment, like a bigger market? Like you're out here in LA, so and like for me, I've been telling you, like. With me being in South Carolina, the majority of the work that I'm doing, I'm always on the road. So like I said, I'm in Vegas or I'm out here, or like I drive down to Atlanta doing some things with the Sparks, or I go to Charlotte, cover the Hornets. So a lot of stuff that I'm doing, even when I'm interviewing entrepreneurs, I interview some back at home, but a lot of times I'm on the road doing a lot of the work. Half the work I've done has always been done. How important is it, do you think, or is it important at all to like be in the market that has these different teams, or being in the right market for media?
I think when I first started, it was way more important. But I think now with technology, I think now with we're able to do stuff You know, like I said, there's a lot of technology, Zoom, StreamYard, Riverside, where you can jump on somewhere and you can go get that individual. You can go get those people, or get that. Or you can jump on a plane and say, hey, I'm going to fly out here for 3-4 hours and go get this and come back. Or do. I think there's so many more opportunities through social media and through, you know, in terms of media and being able to connect and make connections. If you use it for what its usefulness is for. I think now you could be in South Carolina. I know a dude that lives in St. Louis, and he's every week he's gone somewhere to go film this, film that, go to this event, that event. And he's like, hey man, I ain't never leaving St. Louis. First of all, my house is paid off. You know, and I think, you know, I think there's a lot to be said for that. And I think now it's just about what you want to do, like setting a goal, or setting goals, or having a vision of what you want to do and going about executing it. I think that's why I told you when we talked, man, I was like, bro, as long as they keep making airplanes, you got a place to go.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get out there. This thing right here, this phone thing right here, is probably the most valuable asset we have, because there's so much you can do in this phone right here that we wouldn't be able to do 15, 20 years ago. Right. Yeah. You know, because phones weren't up to par in that way.
Right.
So I think it's just one of those things, bro, where we just have to. You can't say, "Oh man, I can't." Now, yeah, we all do what we want to do. Yeah, everybody ain't balling and just saying, "Okay, I can go spend a couple grand in Vegas over the weekend," you know, and just go hang out. Right. No, but you work for what you want to get. People will do whatever they want to do to get what they want to get, right? If you know, hey man, these shoes is coming out on Thursday, in 2 weeks from Thursday. Hey man, let me get on my mission and let me get this bread up so I can go ahead and get these kicks. Even at that mean you got to work some overtime. Yeah. You may not be able to go to the bar with your homies. You may not be able to go out with old girl this week. Hey baby, you know what? I gotta buckle down. I gotta do this, that, and the third. You may not be able to go out of town with your folks. You might have to stay home and sit this one out. You may not be able to go to Starbucks every day. You may be able to go one day out the week, but not every day. Just so you make sure you meet that goal. Like, hey man, I want these kicks. These kicks cost $200 something. I gotta make sure I got this extra $200. And you're gonna do whatever it takes to get it. So I apply that to anything in life. That's why I tell people, man, no, ain't no excuses, man. Ain't no excuses, man. I don't want to hear none of that, because whatever you want to do, you're gonna find a way to get it done.
That's a fact, man. You sound just like my mentor Ben, man. I remember a couple months ago at Men of Vision Bible Study, he was like, you cannot name something in life that you really wanted that you did not get. He said you can't name it, because if you really want it, you gonna figure out a way to get it done.
Bro, I was traveling for college football. I went to several stadiums over the course of college football, and they weren't cheap. And you know, there's some college football is not like the NFL where you got like direct cities. Like you go to Detroit, you go to Chicago, you go to LA, you go to San Francisco, outside of Green Bay. But I'm saying you don't go to any major cities, right? In college football, as you know, like you said, South Carolina's in a particular town, right? That's not necessarily easiest to get to. You know, going to Georgia, you got to drive an hour from Atlanta just to get to Athens, right? Or if you going to Alabama, I got to fly into Birmingham and then drive into Tuscaloosa, right? So unless now Austin, you got a little bit more direct now because flights is the airlines are expanding. But I'm just saying they ain't going to Austin every day of the week,
right?
So they're in different areas, right? And so you have to really. And I said I want to go to this stadium, this stadium, this stadium, this stadium, this stadium. I want to travel. And in bowl season, I want to go here, 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 and here, right? And that's what I did. Weather permitting, that's what I did. Right. And I invested in myself. I sowed seeds. I invested in myself. I made sure I was on a budget. Man, my budget was tighter than the Rihanna jumpsuit. And I made sure, I wasn't out here splurging. I did what I came to do, and I got the hell on.
Right.
And that's what I did. And people were like, "Man, you out here traveling?" Yeah, because I'm not local. Bro, I see myself as national or international.
Right.
I don't see myself as local. Even when I started, I said, bro, I'm not staying here. I may stay here for a moment to learn what I need to learn and be able to try out, trial and error. I'm not staying here. And a lot of people talk that, oh yeah, I'm gonna be national. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be global. And you still stuck on the same area that you've been stuck in the last 10 years. For whatever reason. And everybody's reasons are different. Everybody's, struggles are different. Everybody's situations are different. But I'm like, look, man, when you determine to do something, you're gonna figure out a way to make it happen. God and the universe will make a way happen, but you gotta execute that. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm a single dad. Okay, been a single dad for 11 years, but primarily my son's been with me for 8 directly. Right? My folks help me out. My family helps me out. That's why I'm able to do the things that I'm doing today.
Same
like this.
Same for me. Yeah.
However, I didn't let that stop me. Was it discouraging at times? Yeah. Did I have many forks in the road? Hell yeah. Did I want to quit and give up? Hell yeah. I thought about that shit two days ago. Like, how long do I really want to do this, man? Because this got to bear some fruit now. We didn't went through this part of the farm. Now I'm on this side of the farm now, so we got to start bearing some more fruit. And you think about all those things, man. And it comes to a point where it's just like, okay, what am I really going to do? And am I limited to, and I think also too, you got to be careful not to limit yourself, because people will limit you, or sometimes your mind will limit you if you let it. Because you got this vision, but then here come these 60,000 thoughts, right? Because we get, according to the studies, we get 60,000 thoughts a day. Okay. Thank God the universe don't act on every one of our thoughts. Because we be up a creek without no paddle. But you do what you want to do. And that's why I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that. Especially if you ain't taking care of another life form. Some of these humanoids out here, man, I be sitting there scratching my head like, what are you doing? And you've seen it. I've seen it over the course of time. Man, the media game is getting watered down. It's like amateur hour at the Apollo. I'm sitting back watching some of this stuff that I see on social media, or people that I ain't gonna name no names, that I be sitting there like, you know, UPS is hiring. Well, they were. Pet Boys is still hiring. It ain't too late to go ahead and go online, do what you do.
It's some off the wall stuff.
Man, I'm telling you, this is like, damn, dude. And the game has changed so much, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking this off camera, and I'm not even mad at, I know some media influence. I know some influencers rather, and they do great work. They do great stuff. I mean, they creative. I'm sitting there watching them, learning, trying to pick stuff up from them. But when you squeeze out the reporters, when you squeeze out the journalists, when you squeeze out the people that really have an opportunity to tell the story a particular way that needs to be told, and you're squeezing them out because they got numbers over here, they got notoriety over there,
you got followers,
it's that's what made the game. It tainted the game, man. And again, I'm not mad at the people. I'm mad at the system that allowed that to happen. And when I say mad, I'm not like angry or upset. It's just like, dude, what the hell happened? Like, when did we get to this point where it's amateur hour? Where's the professionalism? And we talked about even athletes. Some of these new age athletes now, they don't read the room well. They don't get it. It's like, dude, you can't sit up here and tell our stories. And then when we try to ask questions or try to inquire about, hey, what about this? Or what are you doing here? And you push us to the side and you shove us to the side.
It don't help.
It's like, well, what the hell are we supposed to do? Exactly. How can we effectively tell your story? And then, and I'm saying this, and I'm gonna say this on your show, so whatever, Cameron.
Go ahead.
It's sad when I see some black athletes or even black entertainers. It's like they push us to the side, and then when they get into trouble, we the first ones
then
they call.
Come back to us, yeah.
No, we tried to save you. We tried to. You was cool until you got to that upper echelons. You was rapping with us every day. You was talking to. Oh yeah, let me come over here. And I'm not saying everybody. I'm not even saying half the people.
Some of them.
But there's a sizable amount that do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why do you push us to the side because you think white ice is colder? And then you come, when you get into trouble or you get some type of, even if the scandal was false,
then you want to come back.
You want to come on back. Like, like it was a family reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand it. It didn't have to be that way. You could have kept, I'm not saying you can't expand and go to, larger markets, larger outlet. Cool. But don't forget the people that was with you.
To where you are.
That was with you before
man.
you elevated to that higher plateau. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that really is mind-boggling. But you got some real ones too. I will say this. You have some real ones, whether it be athletes, entertainers, or whoever, that will remember you because you were genuine. You never tried to belittle them or try to, stir up a scandal or create some false narrative. Right. This person hates this person or whatever the narrative you're trying to create to get clicks. Like you said, clickbait. Right. They will come back to you. Like I still have guys that I see, people I see, and they'll, dap me up and they'll be like, what's up? I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Just because they knew where I stood and I still stand. Mm-hmm. And the most beautiful thing I remember, and this caught me totally off guard. That's why I had to turn the camera off real quick because it caught me off guard. I don't want y'all seeing me. Y'all don't want to see that. When Carrie Champion, now we all know the stuff that Carrie Champion.
I just saw you posted a video today or something, right?
Yeah, that was a while ago, and this was probably, I want to say, January of this year, maybe February this year. And I was just going through my phone. And a lot of times I do a lot of evergreen stuff. So some stuff you may not see for a long time. Some stuff I may have to hurry up and drop because you got thieves out there that will try to take your stuff. And I was going through it. I didn't. And as I'm standing there, I just I'm signing off. Hey, thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Where can people find you? You know how we do. Right. And this woman was gracious enough. I'm talking about Carrie Champion, and shout out to Carrie Champion, to give me that bit of encouragement. And you have no idea what that did for me. And I think it hit me when I was driving home that night. And she didn't have to say nothing, man. She's Carrie freaking Champion. Right. She's on CNN. She was doing stuff with ESPN, First Take, and doing this thing. Her and Jamel had some things popping. She's out there. Like when you see Carrie, you know who Carrie Champion. When I say the name Carrie Champion, you know who she is. Yep. And what she's accomplished, right? As a woman, as a black woman, the success that she's had, it continues to have, a profound respect for her. And when she told me that, I was just like, wow. And I had to, you got to be like, all right, that's what's up. I see you, I feel you. You got to do that, Jay. 3 times to the chest, that means I feel you. And it meant a lot, man. And I posted that today. Or the other day, rather, and it was just like, wow, she really said that. Like, it hit me again. And for somebody of her stature and her caliber to pay attention to me, that meant a lot. Yeah, man. And that just took me like, you know what, man, keep going. Yeah. Sometimes you need that, bro.
Yeah, man, especially on them days when you on your journey and you question things, man. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, man. Like, Friday when we got here, I was kind of like, man. I was like, what I'm doing, man? Like I was just like, I don't know, man. It's just like I was kind of like already like a little bit. I hadn't even gone long. We had just got here, and I was kind of like homesick, man. I was like being away from my kids already, man, and my family. I'm like, man, just the sacrifice it take to do this, like this journey that I'm on. Yeah, and then my son texted me, was it yesterday or the day before that? He was like, Daddy, are you gonna be able to come to my awards day? His awards day is Tuesday, but I won't get back home until Wednesday morning. So I'm getting all this type of stuff, and I'm like, dang, man, I'm all the way across the country, man. Like, it's just like, dang, is it worth it at times? And then when you get those type of words of affirmation of people pouring into you, man, and it's just like, man, it's it get tough, man. I'm telling you, sometimes you just want to break down, man, but you still just pick yourself up and you want to keep on pushing.
Everybody ain't cut out to be an entrepreneur, And everybody is not. Look, I'm battling something right now on a dude that's making a vendetta against me right now, and I don't know. Of course, my first mind, but I'm not gonna do that. But that was my first mind. Y'all, if you know, you know what I really wanted to do. I don't know nothing about that, but let's just say what went on in the '90s in LA. Yeah, that's where my mind was. That's where my mind was. But nah, I mean, cool. You know, you got to think. You got to be strategic in how you move, especially being a man out here, being a black man, a man of color. You have to be able to move strategically and move correctly. It's not moving how fast you move; it's moving correctly. And so I think for me, I look at the fact of, yeah, I'm gonna battle you. See, I'm a battler, so we can tangle. We can tangle. I bring my lunch. I got a couple snacks in the car. We can tangle. But I ain't leaving here till I get what I earn. Not because I'm entitled to it. No, damn it, I earned that. I earned this. I earned this. I put in the work for this. So you're gonna give me what I earn. I'm not gonna stop. So I'll heckle you. I'll bother you until I get what I want. You're gonna be like, damn, man. All right, fine. What is it do you want now? This is all I want. Slide it over. Cool. I'm done now. Thank you. See, and I'm persistent. I've learned how to be persistent without being over the top.
Right.
And I'm still learning that, but I would say maybe 40-50% I've got under my belt. So I'm gonna keep pressing you. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Now that's the way I go about doing it. But it's like, hey, the ultimate thing is, man, where is what I'm asking for? Why is it taking so long to get me what I asked for? That don't make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense. Explain to me. Make it make sense. What the hell is going on? What are you doing? And that's why I don't wait on people. I already don't like waiting on people, but I've learned to extend patience. But at a certain point, it's like, look, man, you ain't done this. I'm going to do it myself.
Yep.
I'm going to go get it done myself. And I don't want to hear your fat mouth say nothing to me because you had a golden opportunity to handle it yourself. I gave you time. The time limit has expired. Now it's up to me. And that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? But I have fun at the same time. Like, it's not all... Look, man, I have fun traveling. I love to travel. I love being in different cities. I love going to different cities. I love being in different environments. Man, I was at the Aces home opener a while back, man, when they had the home opener for this season, man, and it was rocking, bro. And when I tell you, they treated me like a human being, and they treated me like a person, and that it enabled me to do my job. You know, I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. Like, I'm not gonna, take advantage or do something I know I'm not supposed to be doing. Right. You know.
But they definitely show me love when I go out there too, and I reach out, and that's what's still mind blowing to me too, is like being able to like contact somebody from these teams, man, and they really just respond. And I'm like, man, this is so surreal to me. Like, hey, man, I'm able to like reach out to these teams and they respond, and then they connect me with these different athletes.
This is what
I'm like. It's really
this is why
crazy
it's so funny, man. It's so funny, bro. Like when I deal with some of these teams and they want to give me a hard time, it's like, seriously? I'm like,
that's true, yeah.
Really? And I tell you, man, it's one organization that I really have really cultivated a relationship with. And that's the LA Rams, man, and the PR director over there and his staff. Very diverse staff, very knowledgeable staff. And if I pitch him a story, he'll be straight up with me, man. Like, hey, okay, let me see what I can do. Let me let you know. Okay, cool, no problem. But at least hear me out. At least give me the opportunity to pitch it. If you don't like, cool, okay, fine. I'll go back and rework my angle. But at least give me an opportunity to speak. Treat me like a human being, man. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a human just like you. You just happen to be in a different position than I'm in. Mm-hmm. You know? But we still human beings.
Some of them don't even give you the opportunity to... No. They just shut it down from the jump. It was one WNBA team, I don't want to say it right now. They were just like... He was just like, this year, this was last season, he was like... we're good for now, but I'll keep your name on the list or something else. You ain't got to get back back contention. But the Aces was the first team that ever gave me an opportunity,
Bro.
and they were the champions. They could have easily shut down
man,
anything that I
easy.
was trying to do, but
Easy.
man, they showed me love when I went out there, man, and connected me with the players and all this stuff, man.
I mean, it's when you find those niches, right? When you find those niches of or pockets of, you know, success, and those wins that you accumulate over the course of your course that you don't deviate from, and you staying on course, and you pick up those wins, bro. I mean, I remember the year I covered the Rams, and I started covering the Rams back in 2018. And then that first year they went to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. They lost, unfortunately. Yeah. And I kept covering them, and I kept, you know, I was dogmatic about it. And I was like, nope, going, talking to the PR dude, talking to this. And he finally gave me an opportunity. And I think it was during a pandemic to really come out, you know. And, man, I covered that team that year they won the championship. I covered everything from the rookie minicamp all the way to the Super Bowl.
Got to stay on it, yeah.
And there was a Super Bowl that was in my city. I get to stay home in my city, watch an epic halftime performance with Dr. Dre and Snoop and Kendrick and Eminem and Mary J. Blige and 50, and sit in the stadium that I come to every week and go there and do what we had to do, and then talk to the owner, which was Stan Kroenke, get a chance to talk to him at the victory party.
Dope.
I got a picture with him. I'm holding the trophy. I'm holding the Vince Lombardi trophy. There's a picture of me right now. If I can find it in my phone, I'll show it to you. I am holding the Vince Lombardi. I felt like I won that thing. I'm talking to the GM, Les Snead, and his lovely wife, Kara, and you know, everybody's happy and celebrating, and the Gunners performing, and we got these, you know, we in this airport hangar, and everybody's happy, and just for them to come to me and say, hey, we're having a victory party, we want you to come. For them to invite me.
That's dope.
Because everybody didn't get the invite.
Right.
Some people did. I was one of those some. And that just was a special, I mean, going to the parade and getting, I didn't get doused with champagne because I backed the hell up. I had a nice shirt on that day. I wasn't about to get ruined. But just seeing the guys celebrating, champagne everywhere, and the people coming out, you know, and man, it was beautiful, man. It was a beautiful thing, bro. It was a beautiful thing to have. And I will always take that memory with me, man. Even when I leave this business, that's a memory I will have forever.
And so Aaron Donald was at the game today. Did you see him? Mm-hmm. That was all like, man.
I didn't run into him. I didn't see him when he walked out. I saw KD when he walked out, but I didn't see. I was trying to run into Aaron on purpose. Yeah. But man, seeing that dude, and then you know,
he still look like he in good shape.
Oh man, I think for a year, if he really wanted to be like, all right, I'm gonna get ready for, I'm gonna get in football shape. I think he give us some. He got some tread on the tires left, man.
And the team that they got, they can.
Hey man, listen.
They can.
Listen, brother. I am thoroughly looking forward to this Rams season, and I'm not a fan of any team at all. I'm no fan of no team. That's why I can talk about you people's teams out there.
I'm a Baltimore fan.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. You know, your man played on power. He did a good job.
Yeah,
he did a good job on Raising Canaan. You know what I mean? Hopefully he can equate on the football field. But I still think Lamar Jackson top 3, top 5. You know what I mean? I still think he's a top 5 quarterback.
He should have been MVP.
He should have been. He should have been. But I think, you know, I'm not mad at Josh Allen being the MVP because I think Josh is right there with him. I think it's Mahomes. I think it's Mahomes. I think it's
this might have been Lamar's best season ever, like as a quarterback in the league. Nah, man. When you look at the numbers he put up, his numbers was crazy.
But I think when you look
at, he almost ran for another stat.
And I think also too they looked at Josh Allen really didn't have any help.
That's a narrative, man.
He really didn't have. He didn't have the same type of help that Lamar had. Like Lamar actually finally got some help.
And Lamar,
Lamar
smacked Josh Allen when they went head.
Oh, they did. Oh, he did.
He
did. But I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's how the voters probably looked at it. Like, all right, this dude now he got, you know, now he's starting to get help, right? Like they drafted really well this year. They got Stephon Diggs coming back. They got a solid running game. They got some O linemen. Like they have different pieces now that he can really. So there's no excuse for him not to succeed. There's no excuse.
How do you get Lamar first team All Pro?
Hey man, I didn't say I was voting. You looked at me like I was the one that was voting. I'm like, bro,
how do you get first team All Pro, but then get an MVP to someone?
Hey man, that's wild times.
This man is the best quarterback in the league, but then you turn around and get somebody else MVP. Like that don't even make sense.
But it was so close, and it was like besides the head-to-head matchup, the race was very close. Right, this was the first time we weren't mentioning Pat Mahomes in that particular race, right? It was between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
But if
it was very close.
If I'm the best in my position, how can you then turn around and get somebody else?
I get you.
Award?
I get you.
To me, that I seen one of the voters. One of the voters had Lamar like third on.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. That reminded me. That reminded me of that fourth place vote that Asia got that year for MVP.
They just hate
See, that doesn't make no that dog. You just a hater, and your life probably sucks. So you want to inflict that on somebody else. Man. That's all that is, and it's probably a person that was culturally clueless. Yep. I'll just leave it at that. But like I said, man, we got a whole new season. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that.
Because I thought the Rams had the weather not kind of like dictated again. I had the Rams beat the Eagles, and they almost.
If the Rams would have played in the same weather the Commanders played in, I'm telling you right now, the Rams would have went to the Super Bowl.
I think the Rams would have.
They would have went to the Super Bowl, even if that was an overtime NFC Championship. I'm telling you right now, this year. Rams Eagles NFC Championship at SoFi.
That's gonna be
at SoFi.
It's gonna be tough, man.
At SoFi.
Philly definitely gonna
listen. Philly is Saquon is a godsend to the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me tell you.
Ran them to a Super Bowl all the way home.
Saquon is a godsend to that. The Giants gave them a gift,
gave them a Super Bowl,
hand wrapped it, and was like, "Here, take them." And Jalen Hurts is a decent quarterback. He's a good quarterback.
He's good enough. He's good.
I'm not saying he's great. I don't know if he'll ever be great, but I think he's a good enough quarterback if you put the right pieces around him. Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, and like I said, Saquon and the O line. Even when Travis Kelce retired, I felt like the O line was gonna take a step back, but Jason Kelce. Excuse me. Jason Kelce, when he retired, I thought the O-line was gonna take a step back, but it seemed like they just kept rolling, man. Like it was like, hey, one tooth get popped out, the other tooth just move forward. The other teeth just move forward.
And their defense?
Yeah, defense was solid, bro. Yeah. Solid. I mean, they wasn't solid. So, I mean, I think this Rams team, I think they're going all in again, like we saw in 2021, going in 22. I think they're going all in. They got, Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua is elevating.
That dude, man.
And the dude can hoop. Puka can hoop, man.
Yeah.
My boy Puka can hoop. I'm like, okay, he got the little crossover motion. And my only concern with the Rams is just the secondary. I think if they can find out a way to fix that secondary.
They got a boy. They got one of our guys from back home, Jacoby Durant. He played at South Carolina State. So
yeah, I mean,
shout out to him, man.
I think if they get, but I think the Rams can win the division. I think the Rams can definitely win the NFC West, and I think there's not too many NFC teams in their way.
I got the Rams winning the West because I think the 49ers still gonna be.
49ers gonna be trash.
49ers gonna be.
49ers gonna be trash. Arizona's gonna be trash, and I think Seattle will be. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? They may split with Seattle in the season series.
I think it'll be between Seattle and the Rams winning the division. Well, I think the Rams gonna win the division.
Only two teams I see dealing with the Rams, and that's like I said, the Detroit Lions being healthy, and obviously the Philadelphia Eagles. Outside of those two teams, I don't see nobody beating the Rams.
I think Detroit gonna take a small.
They could. They could.
Losing the offensive coordinator.
But I think the only team that's really in their way is Philly. I think that's the only team that's in their way.
I think they're probably gonna be the two top teams.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I don't know because the quarterback situation. You got the kid from Michigan that's gonna step in. I wouldn't sold on him in Michigan.
Nah,
so for him to
man.
come in at quarterback,
No, man. No. We're not gonna do that.
Green Bay is another team. I think Green Bay got some potential.
Yeah, I mean, but you got Jordan Love to me is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC because the better quarterbacks obviously in the AFC, right?
Yeah,
but when I think about Matthew Stafford, who I think is still a top 10 quarterback, when I look at Jordan Love, I think Jalen Hurts is on the cusp of that 10 spot, depending on what Jalen Hurts we get. If I did put him somewhere, I put him at 10.
They picked 10, yeah. 9, 10, somewhere right, yeah.
I had him at 10, 11, but I think he's probably at the 10 spot. But I think that's the only team that's really standing in the Rams' way. I think between health and the Eagles, I think that's what's standing in the Rams' way. And I think if they can overcome those two obstacles, hey man, they might be right back in San Francisco. And what a statement to make in your rival. To play in their house. What a statement to make.
Yeah, that's big.
Because
I think Devontae still got something left in the tank.
Oh, he got something to prove.
And I like the running back, Kyron Williams. I like him too, man.
I wish they would have, to me, the kid from Michigan before the Jets picked him up, they went undrafted. The running back from Michigan, they went undrafted before the Jets picked him up. I wish they would have drafted him. This kid from Auburn, I'm not too sure on. I'm not too hype on. I don't know what tape they watched.
They still got Corum too, right? From Michigan.
Yeah, but my man gotta get my man kind of injury prone, bro. I'm just
you gotta get right.
God, dog. But like I said, when you deal with sports, man, and you go in the entertainment sector and you go through award season, and you're covering I'm covering the Oscars. I'm covering the Image Awards. I did the Emmys, the daytime Emmys, the regular Emmys. I've done SAG Awards one year. I've done, you're going through these award shows, man, and hopefully I get to do some more award shows that I've been denied, but hopefully get into to, build these relationships. To me, that's what keeps me going, man, to be honest with you, man. Just doing these award shows and going through entertainment and going through these press junkets and watching these films and TV shows and being able to talk about them and talk to these actors and actresses that are just dynamic.
Right.
I mean, how many times you talk to Angela Bassett and just be like,
that's
wow,
crazy.
I just got through talking to Angela Bassett. Yeah. Like, I remember meeting Tom Cruise, and I was a camera person, and being like, hey, man, this before the second Top Gun came out, and I was like, man, you got to make another Top Gun. He was like, we'll see. It's like, we'll see, but I think that's a good idea. And I was just like, yo, Tom Cruise said I had a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, because you grow up watching these people, and then now you're standing in front of them. And
that's what's crazy.
Yeah, that's man. I mean, I think I've only fanned out twice. Derek Jeter, I saw him at Staples Center one day, and I was just like, that's the captain. And I had nothing to say, man. And it was like, wow, that's the captain.
Yeah.
And I think the other moment that I found out for a quick second, but I caught myself because my boy was rolling on camera. So I said, man, I ain't about to let y'all see me. Gotta look dignified, But was Angela Bassett.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The first time I did, it was at the Critics' Choice Black Cinema and Television Awards.
So you interviewed her?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's on my YouTube channel. Y'all go check out YouTube at Nite Cast Media TV. Y'all go subscribe to it right now. Check it out.
I remember the moment that I had was this was 2014, October 28th, 29th, or 2014, and we were headed to do a high school football game, and Coach Collins, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to cover ACC Media Day." And then after that, I'm going to the Charlotte Hornets season opener. This is the first season the Hornets went back from being the Bobcats to the Hornets. He's like, you want to go with me? I said, yeah, that's cool.
Oh, so that's when they brought back Hugo.
Yep.
Oh man, Hugo's my guy. Yeah. Man. Hugo the Hornets.
So we go to ACC Media Day, and we walking in the hallway, and I walked past Coach K, and he waved at me. I'm like, dang, then I seen Coach K. Then I seen Jim Boeheim. Then I seen Rick Pitino.
Wow.
And I saw Coach Hamilton at Florida State. I think he just retired. And seen Jamie Dixon, you see all these coaches, and I'll never forget the lady in front of me. Her name was Vashti Hurt. She does.
Oh
Carolina Blitz.
yeah, man, she does a great job.
She don't. So
she does a great job.
I remember she was sitting in front of me, and I was like, man, I'm kind of nervous. I was like, man, 'cause this is my first time seeing all these people in person. She was like, you know what? Some basic advice she gave me. She was like, you know what? She said you're gonna do just fine. She said, remember, these are your peers now. She said, don't put them on a pedestal. She said, if you put them on a pedestal, you already lost. She said, these are your peers now, so you're gonna be fine. Just ask me questions. So when she told me that, I settled in. But that wasn't the part that really tripped me out. We go to the Hornets game, and the Hornets beat Milwaukee that home opener. And we going down the hallway, headed to the media room to do interviews with Coach Clifford and some of the players. We go to the media room. I'm walking this way, and Michael Jordan coming the other way.
Oh, snap. Wow.
So, and he had like security and stuff like that around him, and Patrick Ewing was there. And when he walked by, I was just like...
It's his airness. It's Black
I'm
G.
22 at the time, and I'm like, man, I was like, that's Michael Jordan. Like, I ain't even get a chance to speak to him. It was just like, we going one way to the meeting room, and then he come the other way, and I'm just like, it didn't even seem real. Like, I was like, man, I seen all of these people
Black Jesus.
in one day, and it just like, man, that was a surreal moment for me, man. And I was like,
you got to see, that's the dude I always wanted to meet, man. It was Michael. Like, I used to talk. I would talk to Kobe. We would see each other at different events, and we talk. You know,
that's what I wanted to see, man.
And I said, man, if I ever got a chance to talk to Michael, and I almost got an interview, like a solid interview with Kobe, and it was he pointed me over to his assistant and said, go talk to him, because he would, like I always tell people, Kobe would not always remember my name, but he would know my face. So he would see me. Oh, you again? Oh, jeez. And that's how people be like, oh my God, you pissed. No, that's just how he'll mess with you, right? If he's cool with you, he mess with you. So I go over to the assistant and say, hey, you know, Kobe sent me over here. I would love to have that's my outlet. That's what I do. She said, well, are you willing to drive to the office? But it won't be for a while because, you know, Kobe is very busy. His schedule is kind of tight, but he should have opening. I forgot whatever month she said, but it was down the line. I said, hey, I don't care if it's 5 o'clock in the morning. If it's for a 20-minute interview, I will drive to Orange County and sit down with Kobe for 20 minutes. That's all I got. She said, okay. She said, wow. I said, yeah. She said, where do you live? So I told her, well, I live in L.A., but, you know, Orange County is Orange County. Like, you drive. And it was a week before he passed. And that picture that I put up is me looking, and Kobe is like got this expression on his face because somebody asked him a dumb. You couldn't ask Kobe Bryant a dumb question because he gonna get you.
Yeah. And
so I kind of looked, and I think my friend who took it, she shot it right, and I didn't know she was shooting. And I looked, and everybody's like, "Damn man, who you about to lock up on for Kobe?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I looked at the picture, and I was like, "Oh, yeah." Some idiot asked him a dumb question. I probably caught my expression. That's why I don't play poker. And that was a lot. And then a week later, he ended up passing away, man. And so it's. I never got that, man, but I always had the memories in the photos that I had, and I even got a video. Like I did a video of just like on camera asking him a question.
Yeah,
I still.
I remember. I was kind of always afraid to meet Kobe because I was like, man, that was like my idol. That's my favorite all-time basketball player. Like, man, I don't want him to, you know, be like an asshole or something, man. So I didn't want to. I was afraid to meet him, and then the time when I was interning, you know, when I was still in college, and the Lakers came to LA, Kobe was hurt. I think he either was the shoulder or his knee or something. Yeah. So he didn't get a chance.
That was like 18 year, yeah.
So I was like, man, I was kind of afraid to meet him, but it was. So now looking back, I was like, dang, man, I really wish I'd had the opportunity to meet him. Man. That was my guy, man. Like to me, like I said, to me, I love the game of basketball, but it's still not the same to me, man. It just don't hit the same like it used to, man.
It's really not.
Because Kobe was like one of them ones, man. And the thing that I appreciate about Kobe, and the guys that we grew up watching is like you never had to worry about are they gonna play this game or are they gonna play the next game. Like they always showed up to play in the games, man, and that's what I miss about the game of basketball, man. Like you ain't never have to worry about Kobe being sitting out of game.
Nah.
If it's a game and he ain't seriously injured, Kobe gonna show up and he gonna play, man. That's what I love. Like he didn't take it for granted, man, and he always showed up. Not saying that these guys don't care, but it's like, man, if something go wrong with them, man, you never know who's gonna play, who's gonna be in, who's gonna be out.
No, you don't know none of that stuff.
No,
and that's
man.
I was trying to find this picture, so for those of y'all watching, I ain't on my phone like a dickhead. But no, I was trying to find this picture because I was going to show you this picture of Kobe and I was trying to find it before we get off of here. But yeah, man, like I said, Michael Jordan is one of the guys I always
That
went to.
was crazy.
Dude, I was a Jordan fan, bro. Like I even tried to remember that number 12 jersey he got in Orlando because somebody went in the locker room and stole his jersey, so they had to make up a 12 jersey for him. I just saw that jersey. Some shop was selling it.
I bet
the number 12 jersey. Because they actually made them up. Like they actually made only so many numbers of the jersey at that time. And I was like, dude, 12? And I'm like, if you're a Jordan fan, you know what 12 mean. Right, if you don't know what 12 mean and what happened and what's the story behind it, you're not a Jordan fan. So watching like that documentary, it was just like, oh my God, I'm reliving my childhood. So this is what happened behind the scenes. Yeah. Okay, they really had to go get Dennis Rodman from Vegas and go grab him and go get him back. Like that's crazy. But Jordan was one of those dudes, and he respected Kobe. Like Kobe wasn't scared. Like Kobe was like, what? Okay, so I'm Kobe. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm here now.
Yep.
You know, and it was just one of those things that we don't get that anymore, bro. Like we don't even we look at the actors and actresses now. Like remember we used to get sitcoms, we get like 20 episodes. Now you get barely 8 to 10.
Oh yeah,
it's like
anything, yeah.
What? Wait a minute. You're supposed to get me through the year. Like I'm supposed to have a Christmas episode. I'm supposed to have a Thanksgiving episode. I'm supposed to have some time off in between, and then you're supposed to get right back at it and get me through the summer. About late April, May, you're supposed to have your season finale, and then we're supposed to go back to where it was. We don't even get that anymore, man. Like, everything's changed, man.
I'm going to ask you a couple of NBA questions. We're going to get ready to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, tell me what you think about this. You know, talking about, like, how Kobe was just one of those guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I have Kobe. So I was born in '92, so I didn't really get a chance to watch Michael Jordan play like it.
Oh, I did.
So for me, Kobe is the greatest player that I've seen play basketball. Then after that, I got LeBron.
Okay.
Because I'm just going by the guys that I had a privilege of watching play, and then I got that top five. I got Kobe, LeBron. I got Steph and Tim Duncan right there fighting for three. And then you got Shaq, and you can go D Wade. It can go a lot of different ways. But for me, when I look at the all-time greats, do you see a guy in the league right now? I think we see guys. To me, I see guys that are like Hall of Fame players. But do you see a guy like after that's like under 30 that you gonna say like, all right, he's gonna be not just a Hall of Fame, but he's gonna be like a top 10 or potentially top 10 or top 15 player all time. Do you see a guy in the league that's like that in the league that you think he's gonna be like an all time great? Not just Hall of Fame, just but all time.
There's some potential. I mean, you gotta look at Kevin Durant.
No, I'm talking about under 30.
Oh, under 30. Okay,
no,
you did say under 30.
I'm not talking about not Steph, LeBron, KD. I'm talking about.
I think there's a couple. Well, I think there could be a couple, depending on the trajectory of their careers. Right. Obviously, injury plays a part. Teams play a part. What organizations are willing to spend money, not spend money. I have to say, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could be one. Okay. I think Ant-Man could be one. If Giannis gets with the right organization, I think Giannis could be one. I think there's potential there. Now, again, it's hard to obviously gauge now. Right. But yeah, that's what I think.
I think the only player that's, let's say 30 and under, of course, Giannis, Jokic. He's got potential, but I don't see a guy that I see right now that you gonna say, all right, I see Hall of. Don't get me wrong, Shea, Ant, Tatum. I see Hall of Fame play, but when I'm talking about like all time great,
I could see Luka, and Luka kind of reminds me of a young Drazen Petrovic.
I don't think Luka gonna be better than Jokic.
I don't know if better is the term, but I think if Luka can settle down and really get horned in on like an organization that really can believe him and build around him and get him the pieces he needs to be able to facilitate, because he ain't gonna play a lick of damn defense
at all. Nah.
Plays defense with a tuxedo on, but offensively he's a problem, and it looks like he's getting that weight down, which is really gonna make him. Really gonna make him better as an overall athlete. Mm-hmm. I think he kind of certain things remind me of a Drazen Petrovic. Not just because he's a European player, but I mean just some of his mannerisms. Because Drazen was a competitor. If you watch some old film, like I got a chance to watch Drazen in real time before he passed on television, right? Because we used, NBA on NBC, right? You get to Kerry Kittles and those boys over there, and Drazen was a problem. Like that dude was a problem, and if he would have been able to not be unalive sooner than he was, Drazen would have been a problem. You talk about Dirk and Powell and all those European players that came over, man, Drazen would have been that dude. And I think Joker I could see if he decided that's what he wants to do. I don't know if how long Joker wants to really play basketball. Yeah. That's the thing with me.
Because the way he just carries up.
That's the thing with me.
Talk about the game.
I mean, he could retire in 2 years and be like, I'm done. I'm cool. I'm good where I am.
Man,
you know what I mean? Like he can play in the league. We don't know. I'm gonna have to say SGA. The MVP proved it. The MVP proved it this year.
That Joker, he gonna go out there and he'll hit you with 40, 20, and 10 like it ain't nothing.
But here's the thing with SGA. SGA can get off, but also get other guys involved at the same time. And you don't.
Joker do too.
But it's not the same because here's a guy that maintains, that handles the ball. He distributes the ball. Yeah. Joker don't distribute the ball like that.
And Joker had so much. He had more responsibility on him. Right. Like Shea got a squad around him.
Well, now, yeah.
Yeah, he got a squad.
You can thank Paul George for that, but indirectly. But yeah, now because Oklahoma City invested in their team, and they still have a lot of draft capital, right? They still can trade for somebody. Like if they really wanted to, they could. Imagine SGA and Lou Dort playing with Giannis in OKC.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That's a cheat code, man.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That's a cheat code, man. And so, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think the league is in a very interesting situation now with expansion. Because we all know Vegas and Seattle are going to get the expansion teams, right? They're going to get the Sonics back to Seattle. Vegas is going to get a team, right, which they should. That's probably going to move Minnesota to the east to balance out the conference. Maybe Memphis to the east, which they should be in the Southeast Conference or whatever conference that is. They should be in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
Just because geographically, man, like just geographically. Or maybe New Orleans or whoever, right? Just geographically. They're going to move. And I would love to see it, man. I think that we need to see that, but I think the NBA has got to do something about just stirring up interest, man, because the interest is starting to, it's coming out the bag, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when I go to the games, and when I go to the games, the thing that I worry about when I cover the Hornets was like, man, I don't know, like, it's hard to go to a game because I don't know who's playing. And as a fan, I'm like, why am I spending my hard-earned money if I don't know who's playing? Like, you really got to wait till the day of the game to see if who's going to be sitting out, who's playing. That's one of the biggest issues the league has to me is because I'm thankful I get in free to go cover the games because that's what they do for the media. But for the average person who just going to spend their hard-earned money, I don't know who's showing up. I think that's playing.
But see, that's the thing that the same reminds me of the thing in college basketball is the one and done thing, right? Which is the Spencer Haywood rule. right? And I think, and props to Spencer Haywood for being able to do that. But I think it doesn't give the fans opportunity to get to know. That's why I think the women's game has grown exponentially, because you have to stay there 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. Obviously, now with NIL, you got a little bit more leeway. Yeah. But before, you couldn't get out. So you got a chance to watch a Caitlin Clark grow, an Angel Reese, a Flau'jae Johnson, a Juju Watkins, a Skylar Diggins at the time, Asia Wilson at the time, a Breanna Stewart at UConn at the time. You got a chance to watch these players develop and grow. So you got a chance to get to know them. You felt like you knew them because you had a connection with them. You watched them grow. You watched them elevate their games. So then when they came to the next level, you're like, oh, yeah, that's old girl from UConn. Or, oh, yeah, that's old girl from South Carolina. Or that's old girl from, Texas or whatever. With the men's game, it's not like that. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a men's college basketball game. And really, like, consistently, like I may watch a little bit of the tournament, but I don't even
care. Tournament this year, but before that, I was like, nah, I don't really know nobody, and it just wouldn't.
I don't even care about the men's tournament. You know what I care more about? The women's tournament, because I get a chance to watch them, and they get active. They stand on business.
I South Carolina girls.
Y'all did your thing. Y'all did your thing.
We fell short this year.
Yeah. But listen, I already knew that was gonna happen because
that was tough.
Gino ain't for play. And Paige was like, I didn't return to school to come up shorter than the midget at the urinal. I'm coming here to get this hardware, and I'm gonna transfer that on over to the next level. And but it's a beautiful story to watch. Unfortunately we got cheated this year because we were waiting for Juju against Paige, but unfortunately Juju, prayers out to her, and she comes back strong and healthier than before with that injury. And but we would have. I mean, that would have been the ultimate game just to watch Juju compete against Paige. No matter, there would have been no lose. Yeah, obviously a team has to lose, but I'm saying us outside media fans, there was no losers in that matchup. We would have saw an epic clash of the Titans, I think. But hopefully, we'll be back. We'll revisit, and I'll love to see Juju come back stronger and really take over like she's been doing, and really elevate her game, man.
Couple more basketball questions and we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, so we down to the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. I think I saw earlier where Indiana was winning, but who do you have winning it all in the NBA?
Well, I know who the NBA wants. They definitely want the Knicks in it because ratings wise, but I got OKC, man. OKC, man. I think they've taken that next step. I'm really pulling for Shea. I like Shea. I mean, watching him as a young player with the Clippers before they traded him.
Better, man.
But Sam Presti, you got to give him a lot of credit, man. That organization really dug in and dug their heels in and really made Shea the foundation. And even though we know who Shea is, right, and how excellent he is, they play as one unit. They play for the front of the jersey, as we like to say. They don't play just for the backs. And that's the thing I like about OKC.
They play as a team.
I like their organization. The PR people are great over there. And like I said, I would love to see Ant-Man go because I like Ant-Man as a player. Too. I think he's a dynamic player. I think he's a very exciting player. Can't knock out Tyrese Halliburton, what he's been able to accomplish.
He balling.
I don't know
what he's doing. Who it was that said he was overrated.
But sometimes you need that motivation, like we said before. Sometimes you got to have somebody challenge you and be like, "Oh, okay, you want to dance? Let's go." And Tyrese answered the challenge.
I was a proponent a year ago saying, if I'm the Hornets, I would have been entertaining trading LaMelo for Halliburton. I would have been against that. And the way LaMelo stayed hurt in Charlotte, man, Halliburton would have been.
And LaMelo can ball.
Yeah,
LaMelo can ball. That he's about the best brother out of the three.
Yeah.
And he knows how to pay for things without leaving the store. Yeah. But anyway, but he's the best baller out of the three.
I think he getting ready to be on the move though, probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
We ain't winning with him, and I say we like I'm a.
Well, hey man,
it's the home team, but I think I wouldn't be mad if they tried to move him and get some.
I can see that.
Something for him because I've been winning with him. It's time to like figure something else out.
But I got OKC, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take OKC as well.
I got OKC putting that ring on.
And the way it looks like it's gonna be OKC in Indiana, and then I'm gonna take Indiana. Let's switch over to the WNBA real quick. We just finished covering the Sparks in Chicago Sky. Now earlier you told me you didn't think the Sparks were gonna make the playoffs.
No, I don't.
I still think. I think the Sparks are.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you entitled
Sparks,
to that.
Ladies, I got y'all back. I got y'all making the playoffs.
Listen, I got your back like a spinal cord, but I'm also realistic, as I mentioned earlier. I don't have a horse in the race. Okay, I just want to see good competitive basketball, and I think
they got the talent.
They have talent. My question: we gonna keep it a buck?
Yep.
Coaching.
I'm with you. I'm
coaching.
With you on that because I was like
coaching.
I don't know her well enough, but can she motivate them enough and the X's and O's to pull that out of them and get them, to rally the troops? That's the only thing, y'all.
You can give me Nate Tibbetts. You can give me Becky Hammond. You can give me Sandy Brondello. You can give me the coach of the Atlanta Dream right now. I plug them in right now, and I guarantee you get more. You maximize more than what they're getting right now in LA.
I can't argue with you, but
if they had one of those 4 coaches, I'd be like, okay, they're playoff. Minus health, they're playoff bound.
I think outside of it, they still got enough talent.
I don't know. I'm not saying they don't have enough talent because listen, you got Rakia Jackson, you have De'Erica Hamby, you have KP, and you have Cameron Brink coming back at some point. Right? I'm hearing mid to late June.
Azarae, she's solid.
I think Azarae may take a step back, though.
She's solid.
That's my biggest concern. I think Azarae may take a step back. I'm not saying she will, but it wouldn't surprise me if she did because when you got Cam coming back, you got Rakia and Ray Burrell coming back. Right?
And,
but again,
the other guard that played
what I tell you on the phone? I said you got to watch out for the Dallas Wings.
I think Dallas gonna make the playoffs too.
I think it's the curse of Kurt Miller. I think the way the Sparks did Kurt Miller, I think Kurt went right on over. Now listen, Kurt been 1-0 so far. Kurt got the number 1 spot.
Sims. They got listen, the Sparks got the
talent. I love Odyssey Sims. I think the dumbest thing they did was let go of Ari McDonald. That was the dumbest thing I seen that happen. Cause ain't no way in hell I'm going to sit up here and let Ari McDonald go after what she's proven that what she can do, even in that second unit. Even if I have to bring her on the second unit. But it also brings me to a bigger point, which is expanding the rosters. They need to expand these rosters, man. I love the expansion of teams, and we're probably going to get some more teams, hopefully in a couple other markets. But you got to expand these rosters, at least to 14. They got to expand these rosters to 14. 12 ain't hitting, man.
Ain't enough,
it's like a statue, man. We don't feel it.
Yep.
No. You got to expand to 14. I think if you expand to 14, in case you get a Ray Burrell, unfortunately, gets hurt or can't, you know what I'm saying? You got somebody that can, we ain't got to call up this person or just run with a set of 7 or 8. We can run with a 10-woman roster.
I'm just looking at the standings right now. You got top 8 teams right now. Minnesota, New York, Seattle, Phoenix, Golden State, which I think Golden State really got a good chance to make the playoffs. I like what I saw from
Too early, bro. Too early.
Atlanta, I think Atlanta going to make the playoffs. Indiana and Vegas.
Okay, well, let me say this.
I think LA going to make the playoffs.
How? After what you just read? How?
Phoenix or I think
Phoenix is a dark horse. When Kalia comes back, when Copper comes back healthy, that's gonna be a different team. I think Seattle's gonna figure it out at some point. The girl they drafted, that is the female Wemby. You hear me? You hear me?
I want to see her.
That is the female Wemby.
I know one thing. They smacked the Aces today.
Well, we won't go
Aces
there.
in trouble.
We won't go there.
They in trouble, man.
I got too much love for the A1 since day one. I ain't gonna speak on that right
man,
now. I'm not gonna speak on that right now.
They showed me a lot of love, man. And, you know, Asia from the
Hey man, listen.
I rock with them. But I ain't sold on them, man, because I don't feel like they got any better from last year to this year. You basically swapped out Kelsey Plum and got Jewel Lloyd. But what about your bench? What about I feel like they needed another bid to go along.
This is why I said I thought the Aces should have went after Brittany Griner. If you knew Brittany Griner was going to leave Phoenix, I'd have made a play for her. Say, look, sign a 1-year deal with us, which would have took some pressure off of Asia, because now you put Asia at the 4, right? So now she can really get busy. Because we saw when Candace got there, when Candace was playing with him that season, that was a cheat code, bro. I literally saw Candace call the play, and the opposite team couldn't pick it up. She was out there defensive coordinating like she Buddy Ryan.
I don't understand why that. Because it's too much pressure on Asia. If Asia don't show up every single game, they're gonna have a hard time.
And that's what I'm concerned about with KP. Because you can't keep playing KP these long minutes. It's a 44-game season. And KP can do it. I know she got the will, she got the drive, the determination. I have total faith in KP. I think Kelsey Plum is an absolute flat-out star. I think whatever she puts her mind to, she can get it done. But sometimes you got to protect the players from themselves. And I don't know if Lynn Roberts is going to be able to do that. I know Becky Hammond could. I know a Sandy Brondello would tell you sit your ass down somewhere and cool out.
Yeah.
I know Becky would. I know Nate Tibbetts would. I know Noelle Quinn would. I don't know if Lynn Roberts would. And I think that could be a problem. And I also you got to figure out, is Cameron, when she comes back, is she going to be on a minutes restriction?
That's going to be the key piece.
Because that, and then how long is it going to take her to get back in basketball shape? Because let's say worst case scenario, she comes back at the end of June. It's going to take her a couple weeks to get into basketball shape. That bleeds into what? All-Star break. Yeah. Now you got the second half of the season. And depending how far you are in the standings, it's going to be an uphill climb. And now you're going to put pressure on her, on Ray Burrell, on KP, on De'Erica. And let me tell you something. De'Erica is going to have to show up a full season. I'm sorry. De'Erica showing up half a seasons. She's got to show up this year a full season. Yeah. And it's not, and I'm not saying she can't do it, because I think she can. I think De'Erica is a bit underrated, if you ask me.
Good, man.
If you ask me, I don't think she gets the full respect that she's earned on that floor.
She can ball.
On that floor. That's all I'm saying. I ain't talking about nothing else. I'm saying on that floor, what she gives you on that floor, I think she doesn't get the full respect that she has earned.
Right.
But my concern is the coaching. My concern is the rotations.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we could talk about the Aces. I guarantee you the Sparks ain't going to blow out the Aces unless Asia Wilson ain't playing and Chelsea Gray ain't playing.
I don't think the Aces going to blow the Sparks out.
No, I'm not saying that. But they'll beat them. They can beat them. Because here's the thing.
Man.
Here's the thing. I think, like I said with Phoenix is a sleeper. People sleeping on I think Alyssa Thomas came into this season with something to prove. And I think she came out to the desert, the Valley of the Sun, and said, "Oh, okay, you guys want to give up on me? Cool, I got you." Satu is, oh my God. I think, and when they get, like I said, when they get Copper back,
that's
oh my,
nice.
that's dangerous.
That's nice right there. Yeah,
that's dangerous. So that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I look at Atlanta with Elisa Gray.
They gonna make the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely, they gonna make the playoffs. Ryan Howard.
I give you this. I think Atlanta gonna win Tuesday night.
Absolutely, they are. Absolutely, they are.
I think they'll beat the Sparks Tuesday night.
Dude, the Sparks may not win another game until probably Dallas, if that, on the road, if that, because they got to go to the Aces, which is always a tough place for them to play. And then when I look at the Phoenix Mercury, right? When I look at the Phoenix Mercury and what Nate has done, Nate has got everybody to buy in. And that, as a coach, that's not an easy task to get everybody to buy in. When I look at even Minnesota,
Oh, Minnesota juggernaut.
Nafisa Collier,
second best player in the league to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely, by far. She's MVP this year. She stays up. She's MVP this year.
Yeah, I got an MVP.
Courtney Williams.
Oh, I love her game too.
You know, when I look at that coaching staff, though, see, it's the coaching staff. And when I watched that Minnesota LA Sparks game, and I watched the coaching, Lynn Roberts got out coached in the second half. Mm-hmm. And I know she was given a lot of praise, you know, but you gonna battle New York? Now they got Natasha Cloud running the point.
They look good, man.
Come on, man. They took Caitlin and the Fever, and the Fever are stacked. That's a stacked team with Stephanie White. She got a stacked team.
And Aaliyah Boston getting better.
Oh my God! Too. And you got DeWanna Bonner as the vet.
Yeah, they got a nice
Lexi Hall.
They got a nice squad.
Come on, man.
Man, I remember.
So again, like I said, I don't see this. Again, I could be wrong, and I'm not rooting for them not to make the playoffs. Just being real.
I don't see them being an 8.
I don't even see them being an 8.
If they get healthy.
And they get an 8, they gonna get swept.
Hey, I ain't saying nothing else. I said
they gonna get swept.
Hey, all thing I said was they gonna make the playoffs.
Because stop it. They not beating New York. They're not beating Minnesota.
Only thing I said was they gonna make the playoffs. I
don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. That's why. Because I don't believe in the coaching. I don't believe in the coaching. I don't believe in it, especially when they go on a skid. Right? Let's say they go on a 3 guy, you know, they gonna go through their bumps and bruises, but they go on a 3. Let's say they go on a 3 or 4 game losing skid, and they on the road. Mm-hmm. What you gonna do? What you gonna say? You gonna set KP down if she been playing 35 minutes?
That's what I was
on like. And then not necessarily a back to back, but like, you know, a game in between, like a day in between. And then KP KP said, "No, coach, I got this." You gonna sit her down?
No, she gonna play her.
No, you know why? Cause you ain't got the juice.
Yeah,
now,
she gotta play.
Becky Hammond tell you to sit your ass down.
Oh,
you better sit down.
Yeah.
Or she gonna make you sit down. Mm-hmm. Sandy Brondello tell you to sit down. You gonna sit down.
Yeah.
Nate Tibbetts tell you to sit down. You gonna sit down.
I think where they are, man, they gonna need it.
Noel tell you to sit down. You better sit down quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I'm gonna say this though. I got them.
I don't trust playoffs. I don't trust the coaching, bro.
I'm with you. That's it. But I think they got enough talent to get there.
But talent has to be coached and nurtured.
That's true. But
Doug Collins had a squad with the Bulls. How far did Doug Collins go? Could never get over the hump.
Get him out of there, yeah.
Well, when Phil Jackson with Tex Winter and all the rest of them guys, what did Phil do? We going to the finals. Tommy Cole, gas up the pacer. We going to Chicago.
I just said, I think they can get, even with Coach Roberts, I think they can still make the playoffs. But the difference
is coaching.
I
think Lynn Roberts is Doug Collins.
I think she can do it.
I think they need somebody else. They need somebody else that could coach. Now let me ask you this question.
Okay.
If they had Lisa Leslie as their coach, how much more confident would you be?
Yeah, I'd have been a lot more confident.
See, that's all I'm saying. Confident. That's all I'm saying.
I think
I'd have hired Lisa Leslie. Especially with Cam. When Cam said what she said about Lisa, this is your star. What the hell are you doing? This is your star saying, I look up to Lisa Leslie.
Weird. I don't get what the league doing, man. It's weird with the coaching situation.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
I gotta look upstairs. I gotta look upstairs.
Maybe she owed her a favor. Or, I don't know. I don't even want to put that out there. But it's just weird, man. But I still say they're going to make the playoffs. One more thing, though, real quick.
Yeah, man.
Finals predictions, who you think in the WNBA? Who you
oh, man, come on, man. Come on, man.
From what you've seen so
far.
Come on,
Cat. Come on, Cat. Oh, man. Nah. Wow, I got Minnesota and Indiana. And I got Minnesota winning. I think Fees is playing out of her mind. I think she got that chip on her shoulder the size of Frito-Lay. I think we all know what happened. I ain't got to say it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But I think they got that chip on their shoulder, and they probably got the most collective group as far as chemistry and knowing each other. They had a couple new pieces, but I'm saying overall they kept the same core. Yeah. And I think that's why they're being so successful early on this season, because they know each other, they can read each other, and yeah, man, I think it's gonna be Minnesota and Indiana. I got
a rematch. I got New York and Minnesota again in the finals.
Nah,
but man. I think.
Nah, man.
But this time, man. I think last year Minnesota was the better team. But from what I saw this year,
I think they beat.
New York might get them this time.
I think they beat New York maybe in like the conference finals. I think they meet up in the conference finals, and I think they beat New York in the conference finals maybe. I don't see them going. I think Minnesota goes to the finals. I think Indiana. It would be crazy to see Indiana play New York in the conference finals, and I think Indiana would, because I think Indiana. But here's the thing too. Folks will watch 7 games of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna put that.
They gonna watch New York, Liberty. I agree with you.
I'm gonna put that pin right there. I said, no backtracking.
Wherever she goes, she selling.
Caitlin is going, and let me tell you something. The one thing I like about Caitlin, she ain't scared to answer no questions.
That's right. Yeah, I respect that. I respect the athletes.
I respect athletes that don't get scared to answer a damn question. Yeah. That's not overly provocative or trying to be clickbait.
That was crazy today.
I'm gonna leave that right there.
I wonder if it might come out. Somebody might release something.
If you know. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it was.
But
crazy.
it was. I almost laughed. I had to keep my composure because I'm about to start. I was about to start laughing. I was really about to start laughing.
I ain't understanding, man. Like, why it always gotta be. We'll just leave it. It was crazy.
Yeah. Let's leave it right there.
Hey, let me ask you this real quick though. You did have a moment that went viral. For people that don't know, Nick caught the footage last year. The viral moment, it went crazy on social media, where it was Megan Good hugging. Oh man,
you gonna get me in trouble? You gonna get me in trouble all over again, man?
I gotta ask you about that. So this is who had caught the viral moment on camera. And
it's still on Twitter.
It went crazy. It was just like all over the place. It was like,
it's still on Twitter.
Break down that whole situation, because the way you was telling me, it didn't even happen the way, because people made it seem like she just saw him there. She just went crazy.
So what happened was, I was at an event, right? I'm on the carpet. Now the carpet is very close to the entrance, right? You turn your back, you're looking at the entrance, right? So at the corner of my eye, I was like, man, that looked like Jonathan Majors and Megan Good, right? So that's when I swung around, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't just put cameras in people's faces, right? Mm-hmm. I just kind of let them breathe a little bit. If I, wait, and then I'm like, oh, okay, boom. Let's see if they don't hit the carpet, then I'm gonna get the B-roll. Right. See them walking in, boom, right? So as I'm turning around, I didn't get my phone on in time, because had I been there 2 seconds early, you just saw them dap each other up. Mm-hmm. So Jonathan Majors and Michael Ealy dapped each other up. They acknowledged each other. She was excited to see him because I guess they had I forgot what film they had worked on prior to. So she just got excited and she jumped up. And so that's what everybody caught. Like, I just caught them pulling away. Mm-hmm. My video got chopped by a lot of different outlets because they just wanted to focus on that. So, but I told people, I said, look, first of all, people don't read. The society does not read, because if you read the caption, you would have known what I said.
Right.
But also, too, if you didn't cut, I have the original 29 seconds. Most videos got chopped at the 25 or 24 second mark when she went over to him and jumped.
That's all they wanted to see.
Right. So all of these outlets started taking my stuff to the point Megan Good had to drop a... Now, this was the weekend where that Tyler Perry movie came out with her and Corey.
I know who you're talking about.
The brother used to be married to one of the Maury twins.
Yeah. Good
brother, too, by the way. And so she was out promoting, right? Because this is when it's about to drop. So this is giving it added stuff, right? So then it got so viral. She made it on that Saturday. She dropped her statement. I said, you should have never dropped that statement because now it's gonna circulate even more.
Yeah.
I said, but it did help your sales because the movie sales, it helped. So maybe that's why you did it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That was what crazy.
And I've never.
So was anybody mad at you for that clip, or how did they go?
I don't know if Megan was mad at me per se, because she generalized the statement. So there was a plethora of outlets that posted the video. So I don't know if she was necessarily mad at me, but I was willing to have a conversation.
Right.
And I said if I ever saw both of them again, if they want to bring it up, we could have a conversation on camera. And I will show you the actual video.
Right.
Because I just happened to swing by. Like I said, man, I'm on the carpet facing this way. I just so happened to see them, and I just was like, oh, snap, that's Megan. And I waited a second, and then I went over there.
Right.
So, again, fault me for my timing, but, I mean, how can you get mad at me? You the one did it.
Exactly.
And not only that, I would never try to devalue or disrespect that woman. I admire her work. I have a respect for her work. Same thing with Jonathan Majors. So it was funny, man. I'll tell you a quick story before we get on out of here. So I did a press junket for Harlem, because the series Harlem.
Yeah.
Right, they wrapped up, and I watched Harlem too, so it was cool. So I get on there, right? You can see all our faces on the press. We on a streaming press junket, right, online. So you get to see all the media's faces, and we got our names under everyone, and I'm sitting there like, okay, this gonna be real interesting when my time comes. So I'm waiting, right? I'm waiting, made my turn. I think I'm like the fourth or fifth person in line, right? So I'm waiting, and I said, hey, this is addressed to the entire cast, right? And I say my question. So the short-haired lady that plays on Harlem, the dark-skinned sister, she's a really great actress. She answers first, and then the brother with the beard, Tyler Lepley,
yeah.
he goes and answers, and then Megan says something, but then she stops, and I'm like, am I gonna get Megan? Am I gonna get Megan to answer my question? Does she remember who I am? Does she remember she making it? Because I said it says Nick Hamilton, Nite Cast Media, right? And I'm like, oh shit. So okay, here we go. So all the cast members. The homegirl, shout out to the homegirl, Gail Bean. She answered on there too. And then Megan answers last. But she gives me such a great answer. And she doesn't appear to be upset with me. And I said, okay, cool. Okay, that was better than I thought it was going to be. And again, I have a profound respect for what she does and what she's doing, and both of them, actually. So I would never do anything. And then I interviewed Jonathan Majors like a month after that. Because he did Magazine Dreams.
He seemed like he a good dude, man.
He did Magazine Dreams. And I think he did a phenomenal job, by the way, in Magazine Dreams. He did a phenomenal job. And I interviewed him. I was the second person to interview him. And he was cool. And I just told him, hey, man, I want to see you as Kang in the universe, man. And he was smiled. He said, hey, man, thank you. And, so again, man, I never run from stuff, bro. Like if I put it out there, I put it out there.
Right.
And I'm gonna stand on it. If whatever the consequences may be, then I'm gonna stand on it.
Yeah, that was a dope moment.
But like I said, man, I didn't even think it was gonna go viral, bro. Yeah. I didn't do it.
It's crazy. You never know what's gonna go viral.
I didn't do it to go viral. Yeah. I just like, okay, got 3 actors, and I just talked to Michael Ealy. Yeah. Like right after, asking, because that's when he was on Power Book 2 on Ghost. Yeah. So I'm like, hey man, I don't like your character, and that tells me right there how great of an actor you are. He's like, oh man, thanks, man. I said, yo man, are you coming back or what's happening? That's when they did the split. Yeah. He said, hey man, you gotta watch, but I would strongly urge you to watch. And I said, okay. And he was cool, like I said, I think he's a talented brother too. But then it was funny, another viral moment happened when it was Jonathan Majors and Megan Good at the Pan African Film Festival. And I didn't think that was gonna go viral either. And then everybody kept pointing. I didn't even look at this dude, right? The security guard, Megan Good is a very pretty lady. She's very fashionable.
Oh yeah.
So she had on something that I was like, okay, Megan doing her thing. And I didn't notice the security guard was taking a quick peek behind the scenes. So I'm getting all these comments about, oh my God, look at the security guard trying to be a creep. Look at him getting a peek. And Jonathan Major's not even seeing this. And da-da-da. And so it went viral. Right? And I was like, oh, thank God it's something positive. Okay, cool. It was for his movie for Magazine Dreams. Because I got a chance to screen it that night at the Pan African Film Festival. And Megan introduced him and the cast on the stage inside the movie theater. So I said, well, thank God this one was positive. Jesus, right? I can't take. I look, man, y'all wearing me. I can't take no more negative. Look, don't blame me for what y'all do. Okay, I'm just the messenger. Don't blame me. I don't work for no outlet that does that clickbait stuff. I just do what I do, and I do it really well. That's all I can do. And it was fun, man. It's fun, man. It's all in fun. It's all in fun. No harm, no foul. And God bless them both, man, because I think they're a phenomenal, actor and actress.
Absolutely. My last question, Nick, I want to ask you, I'm on the road a lot, so I like to call this my self-investment tour because I'll be on the road traveling, interviewing athletes and entrepreneurs. So the last and final question I like to ask is, what does self-investment mean to you?
See, I like you because I was going to say so another answer. No, it means obviously investing in yourself, but I think it also means not just investing financially, but investing emotionally, investing mentally, and investing physically. Meaning taking care of your mental health. I think taking care of your physical health, and that will enable you to continue to invest financially in yourself and and create opportunities for yourself. Because if you're not mentally sound, or if you're not physically sound, you can't do all these things. Right. And I tell people all the time, I battle mental health, all the time, because there's some days I'm not okay. And I'm comfortable now saying there's days where I'm not okay. I'm not fine. Yeah. I'm not good. And I think as men and as black men, we have to have a safe space, whether that be with our brothers, whether that be with the homies, whether that be with your woman. You have to have a safe space. We can no longer cry in the dark. Right. We have to be able, I'm not saying whine and be no punk and no simp, but I'm saying, we go through things, man. We can't always be the strongest all the time. We can't be, even Superman takes days off. That's why he turns into Clark Kent. Batman is not Batman all the time. He's Bruce Wayne for a reason, because he knows he can't sustain himself. And I think mental health, man, we have to do better. I think we have to do. I think we've gone really leaps and bounds as far as acknowledging mental health, but I think we also have to create these safe spaces where we can release and feel comfortable releasing our problems or our dilemmas, so that we can heal, and so that we can heal each other and then heal. Because we can't go into our homes or our businesses unhealed and expect great results. It's not going to work, man. So I think ultimately, I think you have to take care of your mental health. If you need to cry, I think you need to cry. Get it out. Okay, let's figure it out. What do we got to do next? If it's you and God, if it's you and your team, if it's you and your wife, or you and your husband, or whatever road you decide to go down, I think you have to be able to, alleviate that stress, man, because that's what'll kill you. And that's why so many men, they commit suicide, or they just fall to the wayside because they have no outlet. And I think we have to, answer your question, I'm sorry I'm long-winded.
Oh, it's all good.
To answer your question, self-investment, that's part of self-investment is mental health and proper mental health care. Self-care, mental health care, and be able to do that. And I thank God that I have certain safe spaces where I can extract those things out of me, where I don't have to hold on to them and turn them into a burden, an obstacle. I can release them in a way where, you're not getting clowned or people taking it too lightly. When it's something serious, it's something serious. And you got to be able to do that and have people that are going to be like, hey, man, okay, look, dude, you good. It's okay. And that's what we all have to do, man, whether we colleagues, friends, or, just humanoids. alone, man. We got to be able to create these safe spaces so we can, have proper mental health, so we can be here another, 30, 40, 50 years, man.
Absolutely. I know we got a little bit of camera time left. Nick, I want to thank you for your time again, man. And like I said, I appreciate you just showing me love, man. And like I said, you took me under your wings and showed me the ropes out in Vegas, man. And even now when I hit you up and say, hey, man, I need you to come on, do an interview, you was all for it.
Yeah, man.
So, man, I appreciate you, showing me
gravity,
love.
Man. It's all gravity, bro. I'm glad. I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad you're getting out, man, racking up these frequent flyer miles, man, because you're going to need them.
I'm on the road, man. Definitely on the road. So. Before we get out of here, though, can you tell everybody how to find you on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at the NH Experience. You can also find me on at Nite Cast Media, which is NITECASTMEDIA on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You can also check us out at the Hardwood 94 on Instagram as well as Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to me at YouTube at Nite Cast Media TV. We got the flyers from entertainment, sports, whatever it is, we got you covered. I'm telling you, Nite Cast Media is on the move. It's where sports, entertainment, lifestyle, and culture square up. So make sure y'all check us out. Check us out at nitecastmedia.com. And, catch me when you catch me, man. I'm in the wind like paper planes, y'all. I'm out.
Absolutely. So, Nick, thank you again. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode of Cross the Line Podcast. Till next time, keep chasing dreams. Thank you for listening.
West.